Alright, so for this particular video demonstration, I just want to do a walkthrough of how you can use PHPMailer to send email from your PHP application. So I'll walk you through how to generally set up PHPMailer in your project and also show you the necessary things that are needed to be done in order to send your email. Alright, so first things first, if you are at this point in learning PHP and using PHP, you should know that your Apache server should be running. So I have my Apache server running via XAMPP. Alright, now the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that I'm going to use an application called Composer to basically install PHPMailer in my project. Right, so what you can do is you can just type Composer, let's say PHP, search for that. Alright, this little icon here symbolizes Composer. Your link is here, so you can just click on Composer, and it tells us that Composer is a dependency manager for PHP, meaning if you are working with libraries or frameworks in PHP, then Composer can easily allow you to install those packages or those libraries, those frameworks. Alright, so Composer is good for that. Now the next thing I want to go ahead and do is to just generally take you to PHPMailer, and you can get PHPMailer from Github. It's free for use. Alright, it's a very good library to use, you know, for sending emails, but it is also free. It is free and good. Alright, so click on this Github link and you can simply grab these files and place them in your application. So you can simply just download these and place them in your PHP application. Now what we will be doing though is we will be using Composer to install PHPMailer in our application, and this is the instruction here in terms of the command that we should type if we are going to be using Composer to install PHPMailer, which is what we will be doing. Alright, so what I'll do first off is I'm going to go to XAMPP, my XAMPP folder that is, then go to htdocs. I am going to create a folder within htdocs called my email, and within that I'm going to create a file called email.php where we'll be putting the PHP code. Alright, so I am in my C drive, going into my XAMPP folder, going into htdocs, and I am going to create a folder called my email. Alright, so I created my folder and I'm going to create a file in this folder called email.php. Alright, so I went ahead and created this email.php file. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is just open Visual Studio Code, and then I'm going to open the folder inside Visual Studio Code. Alright, so I need to find the my mail folder, which is this one that we created. I'm going to open this inside VS Code. Alright, so the folder is here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use Composer to install, or at least bring over, the PHPMailer files inside this folder here. So to do that, I'm going to open a new terminal inside VS Code, and the thing is I already have Composer installed on my computer, so again you can just go online, download and install Composer, or follow the instructions in terms of how to install Composer. It's very useful if you're going to be working, as I said, with PHP frameworks like Laravel, and if you're going to be working with certain PHP libraries, for example, PHPMailer. Alright, so the location where we want to install the PHPMailer, or at least of the PHPMailer files, is in our folder here, the My Mail folder. So my instructions will be Composer require PHP mailer / PHP mailer. Alright, and this should do the trick in terms of setting up PHPMailer in our project. I'm just going to hit enter and just give it some time to do what it needs to do. Alright, so if you realize that over here to our left of VS Code, the PHPMailer files were brought in for us. Now there's a subfolder here called vendor. If we should expand or open this folder, we should be seeing a folder that is called PHPMailer, and if we expand that, then it has all the necessary things that we need. Alright, now let's close these. Well, this is the source folder here with the PHPMailer class, the SMTP, and all of that. Alright, so these are all the files that we'll be making use of. Now if we should close these, let me just close this. Now there's this file called Autoload.php, which will allow us to load all the files that I just shown you that are in the source folder. So this Autoload will basically allow us to utilize those other files. Alright, now I have my email.php file here. Currently there is nothing in it, no code. I'm just going to bring over some sample code that I had pre-written. Now what I'll do is I can provide you with the code just in case you want to play around with it and all of that. Alright, so this is our little sample code here. Now importantly, we need to ensure that we are using these two classes, the PHPMailer class and the exception class. Again, we can find these inside the PHPMailer folder, inside the source folder. You should be seeing exception.php and PHPMailer.php. Alright, so those classes are included in these two files. Alright, so these must be at the very top of your PHP script. We're also going to require this Autoload file, which as I said will load all the necessary classes that we will need. Alright, here we're making an object of the PHPMailer class and we're calling it mail. Next, the actual code to send the email is placed inside of a try, and just in case there is any issues, you know, if there is an error that is thrown or if an exception is thrown, then it will be catched and handled here. Alright, now just to do a quick summary of what is going on here. This SMTP debug will display various messages, and the messages that are displayed, or what is displayed, is based on what this number is. 2 here signifies that it will display all the debug information as well as any user defined output or any programmer stated output. So for example, it will display all the debug information as well as this message right here. if it was sent successfully, or this message if there was an error. Right. So you can look into the SMTP debug for PHPMailer. It uses the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm trying to remember if 0 is used as well, but I know 1, 2, 3, and 4 are used here, or can be used here. Right. This is SMTP will basically return true or false. True if you are using SMTP. If you are using an hosting service to set up your PHP website, then you don't generally need to use this, because that should be the platform to send the email would have been set up for you already, right? So, but for us, we are using SMTP, so we'll leave this in. Now here where it says host, you will actually state the SMTP server that you are using. Now, a simple SMTP server that we can use is Gmail. All right. I'll also mention another service that we can use for SMTP server, and it's called Sendinblue. So I'll first send an email using Gmail as my SMTP server, and then I'll change and use Sendinblue as my SMTP server. All right. Now, going through the code, you'll need to place the username for whichever SMTP server you are using, the password. Once your SMTP uses port 587, then you can leave this. Here you'll state the email address that the email is coming from, and you can state your recipients here. All right. This is allowing 2 recipients. I'll probably just comment out this one and send to only 1 recipient. All right. Next, you can state your subject. For the body, you can send your email as an HTML or with an HTML body, and you can also use an alternate body. So let's say, for example, the HTML body cannot be handled basically based on how you are sending, or whichever platform you are using to send the email. Let's say HTML body, the HTML body cannot be handled or cannot be read. What will happen is that the alternate body will be shown instead, and the alternate body is actually in plain text. So the message that you placed in the HTML, you can place the same message here, but I have different messages just to differentiate between what we are sending. So once my email client can handle the HTML body, then this will be sent. If not, then the alternate message will be sent. But generally for you, it will be the same thing. All right. And then our send function here is used to obviously, execute the sending of our email. If the email was sent successfully, then this message will be displayed. If there was some error preventing the email from being sent, then this message here will be displayed. All right, so back up here, I'm going to use, as I said, Gmail as my SMTP server, and I would have already configured Gmail for this purpose. I am going to use my so I'm going to use this Gmail account, and I'm going to type my password here as well. Alright, so after typing in my password, I'm going to leave my SMTP secure as TLS, and we're going to leave this port number. Alright, now where I want to send the email, I am going to send it to this account, and I'm going to say that the person it's going to, their name is John Williams. Sorry, this is where it's coming from. Alright, so this is the person it's coming from. Alright, better yet, let me use this as the recipient, so I can easily go here. Right, and let me use this as the sender. Let me use, alright, so that's our sender, and this is the person who will be receiving the email. I'm going to leave everything just the same. Leave the message, the subject as what it is now. What we're going to do now is actually see if this works. So we are at localhost mymail /email.php. Alright, so everything you're seeing here is the actual debug information, and you can comb through this and just take a look at all the necessary things that are being displayed. Now, because we had used the value of 2, that is why it is showing all of that information. Right? Now it also shows the client defined or the user defined information here, which it is saying mail has been sent successfully. So I'm going to go to my email, and as you can see, the email was actually sent. All right, platform that we can use as our SMTP server. And the reason for this is, if we're going to be using Gmail as our SMTP server, then we will have to basically allow our Gmail account to become less secure, which is not necessarily what we want. Also, I know Gmail has plans to change how that is done in terms of them allowing third-party applications to use Gmail. I think they'll do that in May of 2022. So I'm not sure exactly what that would mean in terms of us being able to use Gmail as our SMTP server. I guess I'll have to do some more reading on that. But for now, we can utilize Sendinblue if we want to test our email sending abilities using PHPMailer. Alright, asset abilities. Alright, so just simply Google Sendinblue, and there's a link here. I already created an account, so you can simply, go and create an account. Sendinblue is actually a digital marketing tool that allows you to do things like email marketing. Right, but they do provide us a free account where we can use it and use them as an SMTP server. So as I said, I'm already logged in, so I'm just going to go to Sendinblue. Well, I guess I'm no longer logged in, so let me just quickly go to my dashboard. Alright, yes, so I'm still logged in. Alright, so once you set up your account, you are logged in. You just simply go to where your profile is. You should be seeing SMTP and API. Click on that option. Then click on SMTP. Now you'll see where they have your SMTP server information. They tell the port that they are using. They tell you the account that you are using or the username, and they also provide you with your password here, your SMTP password. Right? So I'm going to take this information from here. Now we had Gmail here, so we are going to use Sendinblue instead. So we paste that there. I'm going to grab my username from here. I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to grab the password as well and paste it here. All right. So everything has been set up to use Sendinblue. So again, I'm just going to place a recipient name here. Well, sorry, again, not a recipient, but the sender of the email. So let's say the email is coming from and let's say this person's name is Mike Watson. All right, and the recipient now, let's use so let's make this person our recipient, right? And we will leave everything as is. All right, so we can go ahead and test this out again. So just going back to here. All right, let me just copy this out. I could have just done a refresh, but let me just copy it out, paste it, and go. All right, it says message could not be sent. Oh, because the email, the send from email is incorrect. So it should be 2L. All right, that should be fine. Just refresh. Again. All right, so I'm trying to send an email without putting the .com. So guess I'm trying to move a little bit too fast. So we should be good now. So that should be a valid email address now. All right, so you cannot send from an invalid and you cannot send to an invalid. All right, so all right, we're good to go now. So all the debug information was displayed, and here it says mail has been sent. Again, it should have been sent to this email address, and if you look here, we're not seeing any email, any new email here, and I'll tell you why. Alright, so the thing about it is because we are using Sendinblue and they are a marketing platform, instead of seeing the email in our primary inbox, we will see it in the promotions inbox. Alright, so if you check, it says that this email came in from Mike Watson, which is the name that we used here. So if we click on this, it's coming from Mike Watson. It was sent via sendinblue.com as the SMTP server. All right, it shows that the from address is this one here, again, which is what we used here. All right, so generally, if you want to use PHPMailer within your application, it is very easy in terms of using Composer to bring over all the files that you need. Instead of you having to download them, you can just use Composer to bring over the files that you need. I guess the next step from here would be to create a contact form and then include PHPMailer with that, so you can receive and send emails via a contact form. So that might be our next video, or you can try it out yourself, see if it works. If time permit though, I will do another video on how to use the contact form and to send the email using PHPMailer. But for this particular video, that is it.